I did the thing I'm always preaching against. I bought new art supplies without a specific need or project for it. So we're gonna do something with it. As soon as I open it, I'm gonna make something. I'm gonna break this habit of hoarding supplies, materials, and gear and not doing anything with it. So this is the Liquitex Stuart Semple Substance Crossover. We've got 12 super vibrant, in-your-face paint bottles. Bought the whole set. Is that 12? Yeah, that's 12. I can count. 3 times 4 is 12. We've got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and a couple neons, and black and white. And we are gonna make a couple things. We're gonna stop buying these supplies and resources and whatever, and we're going to make some freaking art. So, I'm just gonna start grabbing colors. These are supposed to be high flow paint that are super saturated, and they come in these really neat bottles. So obviously these are pretty small. This is 2 fluid ounces, which is not a whole lot of paint. That makes it feel like not a good deal. Pull the cap off here. Maybe. Wow, this does not want to open. Holy cow. Anyway, once you're a competent person that's been doing unboxing videos your entire life and somehow can't open a thing of paint, you got this lovely little needle tip here for pouring. And so you can drip it, you can paint it, bop it, spin it, twist it. I guess it's gonna take me a couple minutes to get these open. There's one way to do it. Needle nose pliers. Just slowly roll it so it doesn't explode at me like your yogurt container in the lunchroom. I hate yogurt, but I had many friends open their yogurt and it would fly in my face and it would be disgusting. Don't be like that person. Looking at you, Jim. All right, I've got all the bottles open. I'm wearing like half of them, but hey, Miss Frizzle always told me getting messy is okay. We're gonna throw some colors on here and see what we can do. So I'm just gonna start, I'm not even gonna like palette anything. I'm just gonna start with the bottles themselves. We're gonna use our board here. I gotta actually take the lid off without, there we go. We're just gonna use this as our palette. Just get, you can kind of write with it. That's kind of sick. So I've got some pink. This is called Stash. Let's get some blue acid. Ugh. Oh, whoa. All right, well, you can make a mess with it, but it's actually pretty easy to just kind of throw it out of the jar, too. That's pretty sick. Get some green in here. I gotta remember not to twist and to just pull. Got some purple surge. Point is not to stress about what you're gonna make with the new thing, and to just get familiar with making it. This one's like clogged up a little bit. Yeah, poop that paint out. Get some paint poop on your canvas. Did we get tonic or did we get riot? I think we had riot, so tonic. All right, tonic looks a little more like their ketchup. So I have a few other paints from Stuart Semple. He has like a ketchup one and a Tiffany blue one and whatever. All right, now we have a lot of red dominating, so I want to bring it back. Let's get some yellow. Getting some really gnarly sounds going on. We got both greens, yeah? All right, I think that's good. We're gonna get weird with it. This was not what I planned. But why not? Let's just... And we lose a lot of the saturation when we thin it out like this. That's fine, that's fine. fine. Rinse and repeat. We'll just keep layering it. You can squirt it like a condiment. It feels like I'm using a food condiment, which is just kind of bananas to me, personally. There we go. If we squish it in there instead of moving it off, we keep a lot of that color and texture. Start blending it a little bit. Yeah. I'm digging that. Kind of eroding to brown now. That's fine, that's fine. Let's throw in a little white. Why not? Get some water in there. Getting it all over my pants. That part's not ideal. Right, now we've reached that stage where I've taken something that honestly could have looked cool and I turned it into vomit. Let's turn it around after I clean up my pants. We're not gonna pretend we haven't done this. We're just gonna add some beauty on top. Our poster board's getting a little wet, so it's not being super cooperative, but that's okay. We're gonna go on a red journey. This red is very bright. This is the Riot. No, this is the tonic red. It kind of looks like what you'd think cartoon blood looks like. Maybe we've got some past trauma we've really got to work through. We got to imagine the blood in our past. And you know, that gets pretty dark. That gets pretty gory. Maybe we don't always want that there. Maybe we want a little light at the end of the tunnel. And we start thinking happy thoughts. We start thinking about exciting things, things that get us activated, like some yellow and a touch of orange. And we can take that and start kind of adding it to the action. We're not red hot anymore. We're activated. We're exploring what being up and active feels like and looks like. We're getting some of that in there. Maybe we're really feeling it. Maybe we're just like, yeah, that's a lot of energy. I've got a lot of feelings to get out. Get some of the red family back in there. But maybe as I'm trying to excite myself, activate myself, I get some more of that rage back. I think about the one who hurt me, the one who took me to a place I never thought I could go, and then spit me out to dry. Just sliced right through. All right, we can work with that too. Just take a little bit of that. You know what? We can keep a dry brush. Just put that in there. Don't erase it, embrace it, make it bigger. Make that rage bigger, but smoother. Bring in some of that pink. That pink's kind of the light underneath the rage. We got some of that. But we do want to come down. As much as this activation is exciting, we need, maybe we go for a walk. We try to meditate. We try to get it out. We try to get some serene thoughts in our head. We look at the sky, the blue sky. And we start trying to come back down. But in refusing to accept the feelings that we had. In trying to change them all the time, we keep bringing them back to dull. We don't want dull feelings. We want to feel strong feelings. We just want to know what the feelings that we are feeling are. So we take the white. The white is like our guide. The white tells us what room we have left to feel, to embrace where our mind is taking us. And we just start seeing what sticks. At this point, it's less about fighting the feelings and just letting them flow into you. Sometimes there's rage. Sometimes that takes over. But sometimes when you let yourself feel that rage, on the other side of it, you start to feel calmer. You start to feel more serene. Start blending back. And in a moment, when you think you are as angry, stressed out, anxious as it gets, calm takes over. The calm tells you, hey, am I running out already? Maybe it's not time yet. Maybe there's still some more left to go through. Maybe there's the ups and the downs. The fun and the anger. And maybe that's okay. Because at the end, all you're left with is darkness. Maybe you started feeling self-conscious. Maybe you're like, wow, that was a lot of randomly named but otherwise impersonal emotions. You can't just bear your feelings on the internet. And I say, who says? The internet is full of crazy things. Have you seen an OnlyFans page? You can bear just about anything you want on the internet. So despite the fact that you tried to cover all your feelings up, uncover it. Reveal those feelings. Show the world what you're made of. Let the color shine through. And it doesn't have to be fancy. I've got a piece of garbage here. We can just let it out. Whatever sounds good can be used. Get some lines in there, maybe get a little circle swirl. This isn't doing a whole lot. Maybe got some knives. I can just really mess it up. Get rid of that, get rid of the black. Get rid of the shame, the guilt, the embarrassment, the idea that someone might see what you say, what you do, what you write. That's okay. That's human. You're supposed to be seen. I've got some freaking bubble wrap. Maybe I want that showing through. Put that in your algorithm. Hell, I've got a piece of garbage that wound up in my mailbox. Maybe we can just take that and just pull away our shame, our cringe. They say the only cringe is self-cringe, and I believe that to be true. I'm making an absolute mess here. This is not gonna turn into anything anyone's gonna wanna see, and I'm okay with that. I'm just gonna keep trying. Because the goal for me was not to really push it in there. It was not to make a masterpiece, a work of art. It was, I guess technically it was to work with art. It was just to make something that made me feel during the process, that allowed me to use materials that I had. What else have I got? I've got this film strip that's been spray painted a little bit. Let's just smush that right in the paint and pull it back off. That did absolutely nothing. We've got more garbage. Something that little bath toys came in or something. Just lay that on there and pull it off. Now we've got a lot of texture, but not enough color. So we're gonna take our sponge. We're gonna get it wet. And just I think I put too much black on here. I was having trouble with coverage. I really just was ashamed of myself, apparently. And now the color doesn't want to shine through. That's okay. We take it off. That sponge might be garbage now. Maybe I buy more. We just peel back the layers of hiding. Hiding who we are. Hiding what we think, what we care about. And we let our truest selves shine underneath. Now we're starting to get some of that color out, or either I just put some color on. Either way, I'm happy with it. Yeah, I think we're just transferring color off of the bubble wrap onto the piece. I'm not mad at it. Do I have more bubble wrap? I don't think I do. I do have some of this fun cardboard packaging. Just really get it in there. There we go, we've got some color coming through. Dig for it. Sometimes your feelings are buried beneath the surface, especially if you feel shame. Sometimes you gotta dig for that shit. Treat it like a archaeology project. What was this lunatic thinking when he covered up all his feelings? What was he feeling? What was he embarrassed by? What was he, or she, or they, afraid to show the world? Dig it out. Except we're not being gentle with this. No, we're not using little feather dusters and whatever. We're taking it all the way. If we break some of it in the process, we're okay with that. And maybe in exposing ourselves to the feelings underneath, we feel ever so slightly more. I'm trying really hard not to get paint on my camera equipment, but sometimes that's just the process. I will say the most fun part about this paint is the squirt bottle. Getting to just like get it out there. Honestly, I kind of wish it bubbled up and got clogged up a little more, because it's more fun when it like sputters and struggles to come out. Ooh, that's fun. Feelings are messy. Sometimes people want to put them in this nice little box and figure out how to sort them. You can't really be doing that. You're not going to get very far. You ain't going to get far in life hiding from who you are. I love the two different reds. This one, the tonic red, is my favorite. The riot red is a lovely shade, mind you, but something about the tonic red is just really satisfying next to it, seeing that contrast of them. See, the reason we're adding more is when you dig to understand the feelings that you were ashamed of. Sometimes you build new connections. Sometimes you build new associations. You have a deeper understanding of the feelings you had before. And that's only ever a good thing. And only once you've reassessed all of those feelings can you start feeling that emptiness, that peace that just kind of dribbles in a little bit where you used to have maybe some stress before. There we go. That's all I got. I wanted to see how it flowed on its own, because they describe it as being smooth enough to just be a flow paint and whatever without the need for Floetrol or whatever. Based on what we just did earlier, it's got some movement to it, but I don't know that it's enough. So I'm gonna start with just the bottle by itself here, and we're just gonna yeah, like on its own, it holds its position, which is fine. That's kind of what you want. But if you wanted it to flow, I've got some pouring medium here. You do probably need to thin it out a little bit more. Yeah. There we go. So it did not need much in terms of mixture, like it just needed a little extra encouragement. But it will not be like a pouring paint right out of the box, in my opinion. But that's okay. I'd rather it hold its own when I want it to, instead of moving all around, and need a little encouragement when I'm specifically not buying it as a pouring paint. I dig it. These are pretty cool, I will say. I've used up a significant amount of a few of these paints already because it's only 2 ounces and they're supposed to be loud in your face, so I'm getting heavy with it. And in a way that feels bad. For me personally, since the whole point of this was to use up supplies I would have just bought and put on my art cart and not used for months on end, I'd rather have made something than not. And so I'm really stoked with the fact that I did this today. This was a really good exercise for me, both in terms of just thinking, even as abstract and silly as it was, just thinking about my emotions in terms of colors and throwing stuff at a board. That's super important. And the practice of, hey, I got a thing, let's make something with it instead of letting it sit here, is an incredibly important behavior pattern to start building. So despite the fact that it's honestly a pretty expensive set for how much paint you get. That's how these things go. I'm not sure I'd buy it again. But the fact that I did turn around and produce something, even if it never sees the light of day again, because I can't say any of this was particularly special. I didn't make anything truly beautiful or meaningful, but I made something and I practiced making something and I used up supplies that I have so that I'm continuing that cycle. That's just my biggest goal for this year, and I'm glad I'm working on it. I hope you do the same. If you've picked up any supplies recently or had any ideas, just go pursue them. Just go do the thing. Don't let it sit here. Remember to be kind, rewind. I gotta go spray my clothes with stain remover now. Worth it.